my sense when we spoke of it was that there wasn't a real sense that anybody wanted to sign it. Or that we didn't really like a lot of the term.
I agree with what you're saying.
Right.
One of the questions that I have is, did the funding was passed in-house to do the study?
To do a construction study, construction plans.
Is a committee being formed to be involved in that study?
I think it's the same committee.
It's the same, the Farley Building
in there.
Committee.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're doing
Okay.
requests for proposals, I believe, for.
Is there any way
For the construction plans.
that
I'm looking at Rob because I feel like he knows stuff that goes on and down.
I think Chris is more likely to know about it because Tom was involved in that committee, wasn't he?
No.
No, he's not.
He wasn't? Oh, okay, I thought he was. My request would be if someone could communicate to whoever is that committee that we would like whoever they hire to do the study or the plan or whatever, to please have a conversation and get input from the co-op district.
So I requested that at the meeting
Yeah.
from the mic. I
Yeah.
requested that the committee reach out to us or that we have a conversation, that there needs to be a conversation had between the current Farley committee and us, select board and us, related to a lot of these different topics. And after I did that public comment, I also personally spoke to the chair of the committee and said that I would like that to happen. I can do more to make that happen, but I do want to see what happens with the land swap. I'd like to see that happen, and I'm not so sure, is the onus on me or on us to reach out to them at this point? Is that what we want?
I don't think the onus is, but I think we are the ones, it's kind of thing, it's not our responsibility, but we're the ones that suffer if it doesn't
Right.
happen. And my concern
We're a
is
stakeholder.
if
Yeah.
this land swap drags out, which
Uh-huh.
it has already for 10 years, literally
Yeah.
10 years, are we going to be in a position where the work has already been done and they say, well, we've already made our plans and we can't have the input? So
Right.
I agree with your statement that there is a desire to have the land issue resolved before we undertake a formal MOU consideration or anything like that. But I would not advocate that we refrain from inserting ourselves into the conversation that's going to take place for the study.
So Andy's meeting with the town administrator on the 16th. I'll follow up with Andy after the 16th and see how that meeting went. After that, I will shoot an email off to David Sullivan, and I will invite him to come to one of our meetings. Would that work?
Well, I would
Would that be a
suggest
good
we
start?
Put it on the agenda,
Okay.
publicize the agenda, and if they don't show up to participate, then we start a more aggressive campaign. But I don't think we can wait for them
So-
because traditionally that has not produced results.
Okay, and so we
I
can.
don't see it as being your responsibility
No, I'm not,
personally.
I'm not taking it as my responsibility personally. I'm just wanna make sure that we would like to hear from them at any time, and it's okay if we haven't figured out the land swap thing completely before we speak to them.
And
I
just
don't know if
for,
we want to hear from them, or is it that we want them to hear from us?
Well,
yeah, well.
but invite them to a
it
meeting,
needs to
and
be
would we
some
have a?
bi-directional flow here.
Right.
While things are being discussed, it can't be that we're being told what was discussed. We need to be part of the conversation.
I completely agree. I
So-
agree, but I hesitate to go to their committee meetings. I mean, I could
No, I
do that, but
understand.
I don't wanna do that.
So just for folks maybe listening at home, could you maybe clarify what we mean by land swap? Does it mean that we're giving up land to get land? Or
Yes.
just, I mean, I'm just thinking that
Right.
this may be what's
Tom can
going on
explain.
in people's minds.
What I was gonna say is, yes, it does. There
Okay.
is currently a proposal that, I don't know, that was jointly generated by someone from the select board and people from the school district, representing the school district, to clarify ownership of certain areas of the land that the middle school is built upon. And it seemed to work well for everyone who was involved with creating the proposal. It's I think, pretty much a square footage direct swap of land that is currently available, some of which is owned by the district, and some of which is owned by the towns. But the fact remains that part of the middle school is sitting on property that is owned by the town. So this is to resolve that. It was originally brought to the co-op school board over 10 years ago. And we've made multiple attempts over the years through different select boards to come to a resolution, and it's just the last year and a half or so that something concrete has been presented, supposedly agreed to by both groups, but I don't know if it's.
We're waiting for the surveyors to finish the.
Is that what it is?
I believe so.
I think it's the
Okay.
surveyors have to finish
So
the,
once we can resolve that,
Right.
then we have a clear site plan
Mm-hmm.
that can be used for discussions about anything else.
Yeah, it's hard to
Use of the property.
enter in any discussions if you don't have a survey.
and so part of what's happening is the piece of land that our building is currently on, that's owned by the town, is gonna be swapped with a piece of land that's behind the parking lot, that's, I don't know whether it's north, south, east, or west, but it's a portion. And so the town will be getting a little bit more parking lot, and we'll be getting that, the co-op will be getting that piece of land for the, I mean, that's a very quick summary.
Literally, the school is sitting on that.
Right. So when you start to talk about use of parking lot, but we don't even actually have the lines of the parking lot because they are going to be changing, we need to make sure that we have the correct lines of the parking lot. And we have both committed to, both the select board and the school district have committed to a few $1,000s that we're paying this surveying company and attorneys to make this all happen. And it just hasn't happened. I don't understand the process or why it takes so
the
long
holdup,
for
yeah.
that to happen, but that has to happen. And so,
We saw that drawing.
yes, I believe, I don't know what the stop, I don't know what's
We thought
stopping
it was
it.
done, and then we
I,
found out
I
it wasn't.
believe, though, I did read through the minutes, and I read through all the select board minutes related to this, and I believe they approved it. So I think it's
Yeah, we
been
just got
approved by
minorities.
both sides. I don't know, it's just a matter of getting the final, I's dotted and T's crossed. But as we're having conversations about parking lots and right-of-ways and whatever, we kind of need to have the,
And there's
We're
two
talking
further
around the whole
complications
project.
that add to it all is, one is the whole issue of the water district,
right,
and the other is that part of the plan that we have caught bits and pieces of could potentially impact the bus routes. So there's many moving parts, and the first thing that we want to do is resolve the lot line questions so that we have a clear map of the land that is available for even consideration.
Is Farley on the water line from the Hollis District?
so Farley would get water from the Hollis School District.
So they need to do some kind of study if they can have capacity to do
Right.
that.
And I mentioned that at town meeting as well.
And our superintendent, I believe, is the water district manager.
Correct.
So all of these are things that, and I did mention at town meeting from the public, that a conversation should be had with the Hollis School District as well, related to that. But, I'm happy to, I'm gonna let Andy follow up with, as our, he's our representative with the town, so have him have the conversation with the town administrator. I'll follow up with him afterwards, see where he's at with that, but I will reach out to David Sullivan, and I'll check with the superintendent as we kind of talk about the May agenda, because our May agenda has potentially the stipend, the class size. I don't know if the Farley building's gonna fit in that, but
Yeah.
we'll find a time to have the Farley Building Committee come.
Yeah, I think you had said you tried to find minutes to the meetings of the Farley Committee and couldn't find anything.
I can't find